Good morning, dear Music Store TV viewers. Very welcome here in the PA department in Cologne in our nice music store. I want to introduce Rick from America, who's the Vice President of Sales of Presonus, and he wants to show us and introduce new members of the StudioLive intelligence family.
Yes, thanks a lot. So we have now introduced a new range of powered loudspeakers, and these are the two models that we have today, but we actually have 4 different models, and they just started shipping here in Germany. The StudioLive AI family, basically, we had these designed by a gentleman named Dave Gunnis, who is an amazing speaker designer. He was with EAW and Electro Voice for many years, and he now has his own company called Fulcrum Acoustics. And each of the speakers is a 3-way powered box, so you have separate power amps for lows, mids, and highs. And each of the top cabinets also has one thing in common, and that's this 8-inch mid-range coax driver. So you have 8-inch for mids, and then the horn covers your highs. And then for the lows on the 328, which is this model, we have 2 8s. Then we have the 312, which is a single 12. And then we have a 315, which is a single 15 with the same mid-high driver. And then, of course, for the low end, we also have an 18-inch subwoofer called the S18. Now, each of the top boxes is 2,000 watts of power. And the other thing that really makes these things special is they have all of the speaker processing that you would normally get from an external rack-mounted, product speaker processor built into the speaker. So if you take a look at the back, you notice there's a little Wi-Fi dongle here. And basically inside the speaker, not only do you have the power amps, but you have all of the DSP to tune the speaker, and all of that is controllable via iPad. So here's the iPad app that comes free with the StudioLive AI PA, and basically, as you can see, I have both of my speakers here, and when I select a speaker, like for instance, I'm selecting the 328, notice the LED turns to white, letting you know you've selected that speaker. And then if I click on that speaker, you can see I have 8 bands of parametric EQ for tuning the speaker. I also, in addition to the 8 bands of parametric EQ, also have 8 bands of notch filtering to take out feedback. For instance, if I'm using this as a floor monitor. I have overall volume of the speaker. I have the ability to mute or solo the speaker. Check this out. I even have a temperature gauge that tells me how hot the power amp is inside. So if I'm overheating, I don't have to run behind and look at the back of the speaker. I can just look at my iPad and see, I'm driving these too hard or something like that. So you have front end indication of what's happening on the speaker. I also have 500 milliseconds of delay, so if I'm using these as delay stacks, I can delay them. And also have a brick wall limiter, so I can set this up right here. And the best part is I can save a preset, and then when I get to the next gig, for example, I just hit the preset, load, and now it's recalled that preset. So every room I play in, I can set up basically presets for the speakers. Now, the other thing that you have is the ability to create a speaker group. So I might want to, let's say, group my subwoofers on one group, or group my tops on one group. And the cool thing about a group is that I have a 31-band graphic EQ for the entire speaker group, and the ability to turn the volume up and down for that group, and of course the ability to save a preset for that group as well. So you can have an infinite number of groups, and it's a very, very cool application because, again, you don't have to take a separate piece of gear to do your speaker processing. It's built in. It also shows up on a wireless network, or if you're doing a fixed installation, it also has Cat5 built in. Now, if you look at the back of the speaker, a couple of more little features on the back. You have a separate mic preamp. So if you just wanted to, take a speaker and plug in an iPod to the line input and plug in a mic to the other, you have separate mic input as well as separate line output, and then you have a mix of both of these that comes out here. So it's a little 2x1 mixer built in, basically. You also have these different modes. Normal is basically just using the speaker as a normal speaker. LBR stands for low bit rate. So if I have a low bit rate source like an MP3, the low bit rate setting basically enhances an MP3 and makes it sound better. And then the third mode is floor monitor mode. So when you're using it as a floor monitor, when you put it on floor monitor mode, it rejects feedback a little bit better, and it gets it a little bit more focused for vocal reproduction. So that's the StudioLive new family of speakers, and they're just starting to ship here in Europe, and we're really excited about them.
What was the goal behind, the idea behind the invention of these loudspeakers? Only installation, also for bands, for music groups?
Yeah, that's a great question, and a lot of people ask, well, why did you name the speaker StudioLive? Well, here's the thing, one thing that we've tried to do with the StudioLive family of mixers is really use components and use higher-end A to D converters and really be able to reproduce a studio experience out on a live gig. Okay, these PA speakers actually sound more like loud studio monitors. They were designed to be very, very detailed, like studio monitors. And so, again, this is sort of the whole idea of taking a studio experience and bringing it out live. So one thing that you'll notice when you get to hear these is that all of the tops are three-way, and they're all DSP tuned to have perfect time alignment between the lows, mids, and highs. And when you use one of our top speakers with the sub automatically time aligns itself. So it's a very intelligent system, and really it's just designed to sound like a control room, except really loud because they're 2,000 watts. So out on a gig. So yes, so for fixed installation as well as for bands that really want to go to the next level with regards of bringing the sound that you hear in the studio out to your live gig. That's what these were designed to do.
So we call this now StudioLive. Thank you very much for your explanation, Rick. Much more information if you want to on musicstore. As usual.
DE.
Thank you, Rick. Bye.